Ray Fiennes is back as Dr. Kelson in 28 years later, The Bone Temple, and it comes in on the tomato meter at a stunning 93%. Wow. And I guess that the audience is going to be having the same type of reaction because my initial reaction of this movie is that it's a good movie. Well, I would say that it's an improvement over the first movie because I think that well, the first one had some good ideas in there. It was Danny Boyle. I just felt like it was setting the stage for what this one was going to be, what Bone Temple was going to be, with the alphas and everything like that. So, if you don't know what this movie's about, basically, Spike, the young kid in the first movie, is inducted into Jimmy Crystal's gang on the mainland. Dr. Kelson makes a discovery that could alter the world. And that's indeed the best part of this film. If you don't know, Ray Fiennes here does a great job as this Dr. Kelson. He's the most intriguing part of this story because he's a doctor and he's trying to figure out, well, what's making all of these people like rage? And then, of course, you get the gang in here that it's kind of like the butting of heads, right? Uh, you've got this world where he's conducting experiments on the Alpha, and then you've got this other gang there, the Jimmy gang, that are roaming around, causing havoc. And if that's going to be the kind of build up, the climax of what's going on here, it does it in spades. It's got a really big scene towards the end where Ray Fiennes puts on display his full acting abilities, and I just found myself enjoying this film. Like I had my trepidations. I was a little bit worried after the first 28 years later. It was fine, but I was kind of like, I need more. I need more. And then this movie delivers it. And this is a perfect example of a movie where it changes what it was going to maybe try to do in the first movie with the father and son stuff and take it in a new direction. But this one takes it in a new direction in a good way because we want to learn more about the doctor. We want to know more about his experiments and what's going on. And then, yeah, with these kids and these marauders, I guess was what they all what they're called. You know the scenario, right? Man is worse than the rage virus. Man is worse than the zombies, right? We know that trope. Does it have its problems with that part of the story? For sure. But you'll be taken by the main guy's kind of performance. He's the one that's kind of like the flim flam man. He's the one that's selling you, oh, you need to follow my way because I know what's really going on. He's like the Negan sort of thing, but he's got his problems. He does, and we'll talk about that after we start to fill in some numbers here. I'm just trying to give you a sense here as to what I really liked about it. I felt like it was a better composed film. It was better paced than the first movie, and maybe that's just because I was really wanting to see where the rage virus had gone in the 28 years, right? But they fully explain all of that in this one. Um, is there going to be some things that people are going to be complaining about, like the like some of the logic as to why people are running away and stuff like that, or why the Jimmy gang is doing what they're doing? Maybe, perhaps, but for me, I didn't think it was a big deal. Let's go over to my score sheet here and start filling in some numbers for 28 years later, The Bone Temple, and then we'll go back to the tomato meter. Acting, directing, and story are out of a possible 2 points each. Cinematography and score are out of 1 point, and because of Ray Fiennes, that's an easy point right there. But because of the surrounding cast, the main character who plays the lead, Jimmy, does a good job. The young kid does a good job, and then the person who plays the alpha in this does also a fantastic job. Let's go to the IMDb here and scroll down as to see who these people are so we can give them due credit. Alfie Williams plays Spike. He does a good job here. Um, but Jack O'Connell plays Jimmy Crystal, the senior guy, right? Jack O'Connell. And he does a good job. Menacing. Um, is he something that we've seen before? Yeah, but it's just he's charismatic enough that you're like, I hate this guy. I want to see this guy. You know, somewhere along the lines, uh, Jimmy Crystal here. He's going to get brutally. He's going to get his comeuppance, and hopefully it's going to be at the hands of the Alpha, right? That's what we want to see. But he does a good job. And then there's this Aaron Kellyman who does Jimmy Inc. He's kind of like the second-hand man to Jimmy Crystal, and she does a good job too. She's in the background here in the red tracksuit there. Uh, really good job from her, and you'll know when you see it to be like, no, she's got something extra. She's got more nuance to her character that she can only seem to be delivering from her manner, like her gesture, which is a sign of good acting, right? I mean, because the script is not like dialogue heavy, right? It's kind of like the most dialogue comes from Jimmy Crystal there. And as I said, he's charismatic enough that he can carry it along and keep us entertained. So acting all around is fairly good, even from the people that are just the fodder. But Ray Fiennes here is the standout because what he's trying to do with the Alpha, like to try to understand why the rage virus is going on. Again, if that part doesn't work, then I don't know if the rest of the movie does, but it's all hinging on the fact that it's got great acting all around. So that's why that's a full 2 points. Directing, Nia DaCosta steps in for Danny Boyle. The technical aspects of this film, the visuals are stunning. It it's I think a bit better than 28 years later because I think they were still trying to use the iPhones for the footage and stuff. And I think we kind of jettisoned that. Like it still may be with the iPhones, but it just seemed a little bit more cinematic. And I mean, you look at this imagery here in this photo, that's the kind of imagery we were getting. And the technical aspects were handled all well. And the execution of the story, I felt, as simplistic as it is, that it's just a gang of marauders and they're going to meet up with the doctor and they're going to have this kind of duel of both wits and, well, then I felt like all of that stuff was handled fairly well. Now, is this anything different than we've seen in uh, other zombie movies where, yeah, it's the marauders, it's the bad guys, it's the humans that are the real threat? It has that in there, but then it's got this other storyline with the doctor, which keeps everybody captivated, which is just like you want to watch Ray Fiennes and you want to see him complete his mission. You're rooting for him. He's the main character of this movie. And that's the way I looked at it. It's not the kid. I know that people out there will be like, but it's really the kid's story because we saw the kid in the first movie, Spike, and I felt like he's not really in this movie a whole lot. Yeah, he's there, but we never go back to that father son story. So it's really more about the doctor, Ray Fiennes, Kelson, and what's going on with the Alpha. And all of that stuff worked magnificently for me. So cinematography, I think you know where I'm going to go with this. Is it's going to be a full point, and I believe that the soundtrack is going to be a big hit for a lot of people too. It's got a lot of really cool needle drops. So I'm going to give a full point for that as well. And so we're sitting at 7 out of 10 right now for 28 years later, The Bone Temple. Let's go over to the tomato meter here again and take a look at some of the critics and audience reactions here. Movie Freak, Armageddon has rarely been this beautiful or this profound. Financial Times, less caffeinated than Boyle. Uh, Cool Eye is exactly what the movie needs. Nick DaCosta's Cool Eye is exactly what the movie needs. Moonlit clarity amid the madness. Yeah, and there's moments of tenderness in here amongst the savagery of people getting their faces ripped off. I mean, like, my God, this is the second movie this year where somebody gets their face ripped off. Watch my review for Primate. Yeah, you get the impression here, right? Audience. Storytelling was great, and ending leaves so many options to explore. Yeah, it's definitely the middle part of a trilogy. You can see where they're going to try to set this up, but I still would like it to come back and connect to that father-son story that they started out with, right? Someone really enjoyed the movie. So you get the impression here. The audience is going to be fairly close to the 93% there from the critics. How do you top 28 years later? Why, you add the subtitle, The Bone Temple. Yes, 28 years later, The Bone Temple, the second film in the planned trilogy, takes the story and style in a different direction. Yeah. So you get the impression a lot of people are liking this film, and the runtime is just over 2 hours. You're not going to feel that all that well. Let's go over to some more notable critics here. Matt Donato says 28 years later, The Bone Temple is a splendid step up from its predecessor, a richer and even more daring examination of the best parts of 28 years later. Yeah, and as I said, it's one of those movies where it kind of changes a little bit of the direction as to where the first movie was setting up the premise of like the father and son stuff, and it gives you more entertaining stuff with the doctor, and it's just like this is good. I'm enjoying this, and I think you guys will too when you come out of this film. So with that being said, let's go in and wrap up my score sheet, and then I'll lead some speculation as to where I think the third movie is going to go. The watchability factor is out of it 2 points. And if you like the first film, then you're going to definitely be wanting to see this in the cinema as well. Is it something that I would want to go back and see again? Simply because of Ray Fiennes? Yes, 8.5 for The Bone Temple. And yeah, a lot of male frontal nudity in this one. That's your bad. It's not mine, guys. I just uh, it's going to be there. You just be forewarned. Um, okay, so um, we kind of figure out where the story is going with the alpha storyline, right? And maybe there could be some redemption for what this virus was. That's what they're laying the groundwork for, right? Is there going to be a possible cure for all of this? And that stuff is fascinating. I think that is primarily where I think the next story is going to go, uh, because you can't really keep on um, with just having Spike enter another dangerous situation and um, there's no post-credit scene for this one, but when you see the ending few minutes, you'll realize, okay, now we're connecting back to some of the other stuff in a cool way. I just wanted to come full circle and wrap up this storyline, and I think it will. I think it will. That's the way I'm going. Um, one last gripe. Do you want one last gripe? Okay, fine. The Jimmy Gang. Um, this is going to be quick. They never really establish Jimmy there as the leader there as like the big menacing bad guy, right? You see that the second hand girl there, she's very proficient with a knife. Why are they following him? He's obviously not straight up here. There's four of them, one of him. They never establish him as the bad guy, right? And they never establish why they trust him, right? It's not like the Dark Knight Rises, where in the opening scene you see Bane tell one of his men, "No, you gotta die in this wreckage," and then you see that trust between them, right? You never see that in this film. And if somebody were to pick that apart, I could understand that as well, but you kind of go with it because of the performances. And here's it's like, I'm going to give it a pass this time. What did you guys think? Let me know what you think about 28 years later, The Bone Temple in the comments below, and we will talk about it. You're watching